Hello, sir. Good evening, Prime Minister, sir.
How are you?
Very well. 58 days on the motorcycle. I'm still alive, so I must be good.
Well, I would like very much to salute you for the spirit of resistance and for what you are doing to save the soil of earth. This is not the first time that I see you. I have seen some of your videos, and I have realized that I am talking to an exceptional man who is a medical doctor in a way, and a sociologist, an environmentalist, but on top of all, a philosopher. So I congratulate you on what makes you, really, and I appreciate the wisdom that is enclaving your mind. This is something that is very important to us. And also, it is not really strange for an Indian man to become a philosopher. That is where philosophy was born anyhow. It was not born in Greece. It was born maybe earlier than the Greek philosophers. But anyhow, so I wish you all the best and my full support. And I take your initiative seriously. And I should tell you one important thing. I was having, like 5-6 years ago, I was talking to an Indian a group of activists, and one word I kept using is that referring to Palestinians under occupation, that we are attached to our land. And I kept saying that we are the sons of the soil.
Yes.
And these settlers who come from Brooklyn and who come from other places, there is no way you can bring a plant from Siberia and plant it in Palestine. It does not work. We are the sons of the soil, and therefore we are the organic product of our soil and of our land. So it is good that you are reminding the whole, the whole world of what does it mean to really preserve the soil as source of food for people, because you are 100% right. It is not the Ukraine crisis that is going, and the chain supply that is going to affect food supply. It is also that the earth will not be able to produce enough organic products, enough food for more than 7 billion people. So land is shrinking and people are growing. Soil is shrinking and people are growing. In our case, it is so sad to tell you that the aggressive settler colonialism has caused incredible damage to our environment. It is sad to tell you that 2.5 million trees have been uprooted by the Israeli settlers since 1967, when Palestine became under occupation. So that this is really something that's worth mentioning to you. And maybe I should also, I'm 100% in full support with what you called for. Change the narrative. I think it is very important that we don't only change narrative, but it is also important that we change mindsets, the way we perceive things. We should not take things for granted. A lot of people take things for granted. You know, food should be there. You know, drinking water is always available. It is not. We will face serious challenges on drinking water, on availability of soil, organic products. Human beings should not live on hormones or fruits or vegetables injected by hormones. You know, you put a cucumber in the fridge and it keeps growing because it is full of hormones under humid conditions and so on. And also, my dear friend, maybe, you know, when I was told that I will talk to you, I thought, okay, this man as a philosopher, also the issue for us is not only about soil and earth and so on. I should also bring to your attention very important issue, which is, you know, the Dead Sea is, we have 38 kilometers of shores of the Dead Sea as Palestine. The rest, On the east side is Jordan, and the other parts is the Israeli occupation side. You know, the Dead Sea will have no water at all. It will fully and totally dry up by 2044, according to estimates of experts. So we are really facing serious damages. Dead Sea, it means minerals, it means history, it means the lowest water point on earth, and so on and so forth. So this is also something that needs extra attention in your exercise and in your effort to really bring attention to what is happening in the world. Also, maybe last thing I should tell you, that we are fully engaged here in Palestine in land reclamation to avoid political desertification. What do I mean by that? Political desertification is the Israeli construction of Jewish settlements on the land, on fertile soil, on our mountains, on everywhere. And that is really damaging our environment and creating serious problem that land in Palestine is shrinking and the settlers are taking our source of livelihood. You know, and that's my last point to you, you know, Muslims in general, they believe in one thing, that God created a human being out of salsal. And salsal is actually something similar to clay. And clay is made of soil. So that, you know, if there will be no soil or enough soil, maybe human creatures will shrink also. But this is something that I will leave to your fertile mind to elaborate on that. I salute you and I respect your initiative and my full support of what is needed from the Palestinian side to support you. I'm ready to do that. So, all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to be talking to you. When we were passing through Palestine, we had about 5 to 6 hours. We thought we will engage with you or somebody in your government, but unfortunately we got stuck in the security for almost 6-7 hours. So it got late and because of that we had to leave. Anyway, what I would like to say, sir, I know the political situations, whatever that is, geopolitical aspects, is not in my power to change that, but I would like to tell people of Palestine that whatever the political situation today may not be the same thing tomorrow. But the most important thing is we must keep our lands alive for future generations. Keeping it alive essentially means keeping the soil rich and alive, because politics will change, national boundaries will change, but the soil has to be alive, because that is a fundamental responsibility we hold for our children and future generations beyond them. So in this context, it is very important, the Palestinian soil, which has been feeding these people for thousands of years, and just a few decades ago, nearly 90% of your economy itself was agriculture. Unfortunately, it has shrunk now for whatever reasons. But the important thing is, no matter which nation we belong to, no matter what kind of strife or troubles we are going through, this is something we have to do as human beings, that we keep our soil alive, because soil is not our property. It's come to us from previous generations. We must pass it on as a living soil for future generations. You were talking about water, sir. I would like to tell you that right now, by somewhere between 2032 to 2035, it is expected 3.5 billion people will be water stressed. And this will lead to massive migrations. Over 1 billion people in the world could migrate because of water stress. 3.5 billion people without the needed water is a calamity that you cannot imagine, but that is just 10 years away from us. So turning the soil around is a fundamental responsibility. As you know, it's not in my this thing to give you any political advice, because you are in the thick of that, and I know Palestinian people have fought for so long for their rights. I hope that gets resolved. But whichever way, whatever our other conditions are, we must keep our soil alive, because that is where future life will come from.
Well, I mean, for sure, this is something, I mean, that you took the initiative. I'm sure that you will receive support from everybody people who do really care about, I mean, the way you're handling it is not an environmental issue. The way you're handling it is also a source of living, a source of income and survival. I mean, you're talking about a survival of humanity, and therefore this is something that should be of an international orchestrated effort. And I think the attention you are drawing by covering 70,000 kilometers of travel here and there to bring attention of people, I think we appreciate that, we support that, but maybe we need more than, you know, a foundation like yours. And I think you need an orchestrated effort. United Nations should adopt this sort of thing. And, you know, people are going to Stockholm in June, early June, which is an extension of the climate change. So there has to be, you know, I think you will be able to come to Stockholm to speak about your initiative.
COP15 happened in Ivory Coast. I was there for 2 days, and we definitely got the attention of all the 197 nations. One thing I would like to, you know, this is something I'm trying to bring it to everybody's awareness and consciousness is, see, as human beings, based on our nationalities, race, religion, caste, creed, in so many ways we have tried to separate ourselves. But even if people do not understand what is this all-inclusive consciousness or whatever, at least we must understand we all come from the same soil, we eat of the same soil, when we die we go back to the same soil. So I feel soil is a common factor for all of us, no matter what has happened till now, no matter how confrontational somebody is, and conflicts have happened because of that. But it's important that we don't forget we come from the same soil and we go back to the same soil. So using this as a common factor, as a common denominator, I feel there is some possibility of solving situations in our lives, because as generations pass, if we continue the same conflicts, unfortunately, the future generations will suffer. So this Save Soil movement, one thing is it's an ecological movement, but also it would be wonderful if people use it as a unifying factor among people. Disputes will always be there, disagreements will be there, but how we conduct these disputes and disagreements is very important. If we see a common thread among ourselves, probably we will handle it little differently. Hopefully we'll handle differently. And it is my wish and my blessing that Palestine should see peace and prosperity. There are many people from Palestine who are with us in our centers, both in India and United States. And it's very unfortunate that they have to be spread out all over the world without being in their own homelands. Hope this will come to some kind of solution, but above all, till that happens, we must make sure our soil is rich and alive, because that could be the most valuable thing in the next few decades.
Very good. I think, I mean, in the video that I have seen, you called for, you know, soil without organics becomes sand, and sand with organics becomes soil. And I think that is really a very important statement on your side, because this opens the whole research on earth, environment, science, technology to be directed towards deserts.
If I can tell you this, in the last 27 years, we have converted a few 100,000 farmers into what is called as tree-based agriculture and revived soils in southern India. Based on this, we are working in a particular river basin, which is 83,000 square kilometers of land, and 5.2 million farmers live and work here. This is a massive project that we are doing. So looking at the success of that, only the 5 United Nations agencies are partnering with us today. Looking at the success of this, the government of India made a detailed project report in toto as we are doing the project for 13 river basins. And now, just this year, about a month and a half ago, government of India allocated $2.3 billion towards these 13 river basins. These 13 river basins put together will account for 67% of India's land. So if these 13 river basins are revived in the next 8 to 12 years' time, as we have done in one river basin, then in many ways India's soil will be above crest. And I will definitely talk to UNCCD, who are our close partners, to see how these kind of projects can be initiated in Palestine. You can also appeal to them. Ibrahim Thiaw is a very committed person. Right now they are in a convention in Ivory Coast. I was there for 2 days and just came here. So we can definitely take this ahead, and after this is over, we're setting up a panel of 25 scientists who will handhold small nations to fulfill this. We have committed to CARICOM nations in Caribbean region to do this also. Definitely we can engage Palestine in this area, particularly through the UN agencies. I feel in Palestine, considering the political situations, it's best that UN agencies involved rather than a private foundation.
Very good. I mean, we have really all UN agencies are functioning and working in Palestine, UNDP, UNFPA, United Nations, UNRWA. I mean, nearly every UN agency is actually here. And I take the idea that you propose that Palestine will be part of this. I welcome that, and we are ready to engage with this initiative. Whatever needed to engage us, I will be more than happy to do that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your generosity and giving your time for this. I hope to visit you in the near future sometime and spend some time in Palestine with all of you. Thank you very much.
I wish you all the best and keep the good work going. I salute you, your energy and your dedication. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
As-salamu. Bye-bye.